the killer's den. She had told him that she loved him and would do anything for him. Kat had proven at least one of those statements true by being in this storm drain. Killers were not trained to recapture illegal Level 4 escaped pets. The danger to the public was too great. This was off-grid, forbidden, and punishable by death. The drain was filled with a network of 10 by 10 cement tunnels to accommodate the monsoon rains of the desert city. Warm and humid inside, it smelled more like a tomb than a drain. She checked the TRACCOM reading. It was within 105 yards, 6 foot tall, 223 pounds, and had gained a pound since she last checked. It's been feeding, Kat told him over the comm. She, he corrected. Poor baby must be starving out there on her own. Roques were always hungry. They could only digest a pound of flesh at a time. As a result, nature had equipped them with a mouth capable of cauterizing wounds. This was handy for the rope, but a slow and painful death for the prey. Kat tried not to think about that. For her, the roque was the worst thing known to man. Several times, Kat made this clear to him. She hoped for some message of empathy, some expression of concern for her safety. She longed for more, but would settle for that. Be careful not to hurt her. Kat's heart rose on the first 2 words and fell on the last 4. She had given up trying to understand why people kept such things as pets. It was a question that could only be answered by the nature of humanity itself, a primal desire to cage and solicit love from that which could kill you. Once such things were discovered in the universe, people longed to keep, control, and love them. And he had said he loved his rope. Perhaps that's why Kat was here, unarmed and off-grid. If he could love it, maybe he could love her, though she could not return such affection, as it was accepted that killers were incapable of the emotion. And being the one member of society still capable of taking life, it was hard to argue against. But Kat felt something for him. It was the same feeling she had when her only childhood memory came to her. A woman she guessed had been her mother. Damani Ann, her partner when on the grid, had said the memory must have rooted the last moments before she was inducted into service, that such things stuck with you no matter how thorough the training. Damani Ann had confided a similar memory to Kat once when on the hunt. Over the past year and a half, the 2 women had shared more than most killers. Damani Ann had introduced him to her, noting his talent as a lover and his lack of fear. Most hired intimates were nervous when alone with a killer, and many would not take such employment even if you doubled their rate. He'll listen to you talk about your day without flinching. He services the mind and the body, Damani Ann had said. And she was right. He was exceptional. Of course, Kat did not share her deeper feelings for him. How could she? Damani Ann had never given any indication she believed their kind capable of love, had never even used the word. Kat wished Damani Ann was with her now, but that was impossible. Damani Ann was on the final day of her annual 96 hours of leave, also off-grid, though legally. Kat knew she would never do this anyway. They had gone off-grid together, searching for various black market items, but this was different. There's going off-grid, and there's suicide, Damani Ann had said. This was that. And for what? To seek love when you cannot accept it from a man paid to give it. Kat tried not to think about how many other clients he served to afford the care and feeding of something as exotic as a roque. While a roque could only digest a pound at a time, they ate hourly, especially on Shinto meat, which had to be pumped with additional minerals and nutrients for the creatures to survive. And this one was colossal. The meal ticket must be enormous, Kat thought. and such quantities of syntho meat would be noticed, meaning he would have to feed it via the black market. He must have some rich clients, many rich clients. The TRACCOM indicated that the rogue was moving away from her location. 110 yards, 115, 120. Hurry, she's going to get out of range. Kat sprinted forward. This was the tricky part. She needed to keep it in range without it feeling cornered. If she could do that, then the patch to the TRACCOM would have enough of a signal to do its work and put the rogue down, or, in this case, stun it. I meant it, you know, she said without effort, despite her running pace. I know. That I love you. Wouldn't be here for anyone else. I know. You never say it. Say what? You know. Stay focused. I don't want to lose you. The TRACCOM signaled, warning Kat that she had cut the distance to under 100 yards. On the grid, she and Damani Ann would fry it now and then move in with caution. She scanned her surroundings. The storm drain forked, and radar indicated the corridor to the left dead-ended in 90 yards. Among the debris was a large object, cornered, the last place you wanted to be with a rogue, hungry or not. And then Kat noticed something else. There are 2 heartbeats in there. You must be mistaken. I'm not. You must be. Did you know? Know what? That it's pregnant. She. Did you know? I didn't know. Nesting. It will be extra aggressive. She. How's the link? Too weak. I'm within 90 yards. Might be some interference because of the density of the tunnel. You need to get closer. Lots of debris in there. It's a drain. It's a nest, Kat snapped. He had insisted on being in charge of the trank, saying she might panic. Kat pointed out that she did this for a living and had killed hundreds of rogues, but he turned this fact against her, pointing out this was a recapture and something she had never done. It's cornered. She. Why not give it a try? Too risky. She'll take to flight, and then where will we be? You've got to get closer to her. She won't get past me. I promise. Closer. Kat took the left tunnel, moving forward with nothing to act as a weapon. Why hadn't she sneaked something? How she wished Damani Ann was here. Damani Ann would have had the sense to bring a weapon. She had been a good friend to Kat, so much so that she did not mind that they shared the same intimate. Damani Ann had recommended him, after all, was their first, if you will, and killers were not capable of emotional entanglements. Everyone knew this. "80 yards. How's the link? Too weak. 75 yards. Now? Closer. 70 yards. We've got to be linked up by now. You're in a dense place. You've got to get right in there." She checked the TRACCOM. 3.5 bars were lit. Strong on my end. Weak here. Keep moving. Trust me. Love. A jolt ran through Kat. She tried to replay his words in her mind. Keep moving. She moved. 60 yards. Can you say it again? Keep moving. No, before that. She kept moving forward, oblivious to the proximity warnings from the TRACCOM. Stay focused. No, after that. When she entered the tomb-like dead-end structure, she did not see the rogue crouched and ready to spring from the dark corner. Instead, her focus was on something laying opposite. She had heard of such horrors and seen videos of killers who made mistakes with rogues, but Kat had never witnessed it in the flesh. Here in the darkness lay the torso of a human being, absent arms and legs. She dropped to a knee at the figure's side and shined her light upon the face. There was no mistaking the eyes. Eyes filled with agony and warning, but familiar all the same. Despite the mouth being cauterized shut and the absent nose, Kat knew it was DeMonte Ann. She was still alive, mumbling her warnings through sealed lips. "Say it," Kat begged. "Please. Just once. Let me hear it." But the calm was dead. If you enjoy the power of stories, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and consider purchasing my book, Hitching Devils and Other Stories. A link to that short story collection is in the description. What are we without our stories?